Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to talk about Halloween Town 2 Kalbar's Return. Now, how it starts off is a monologue from Marnie explaining what happened in the first movie. And I have to apologize to you guys because I got it all wrong. Kalbar didn't vanquish, he vanquished into the scepter. So, I apologize because in my last video I said he vanished, but he vanished into the scepter itself. So, Marnie is blogging and talking to her computer friend, and I don't know how it is doing this in this movie, but she is talking to no person. She is talking to the computer. She is talking to the computer, and the computer is talking back to her. So I don't know how this is happening, but it is happening. So Miley is telling the computer friend that she has that her grandma and mother are fighting again about magic and how she always comes to the house and teaches the girls magic, and that Marnie is soon going to be taken away from her, but yet Marnie is not fazed with that right now because she is talking to her computer friend, and by this point it had already been 2 years when she found out that she was a witch. So it's been 2 years. So 2 years passed. And Sophie tells Marnie that her grandmother wants her downstairs. So she goes downstairs in her witch's outfit, and she tries to get the little kids' brooms. And candy. But the mom gets mad and says, "Mother, you do this every time. I swear you are trying to turn the girls against me." And then, and, and then, and then this is where the grandmother says, "Honey, if you want to ignore your heritage, that's on you. But Marnie is a Cromwell witch, and it's pretty soon that she has to come with me from Halloween Town." So the mom gets the little kids away and says, "We have bobbing for apples, lots and lots of stuff, and you do not need to learn about magic." So she lured the kids away, but yet we are introduced to our evil villain, and his name is Cal, and his father, Alex. So they just moved into the neighborhood apparently, and he has the hots for Marnie. And the first day that they meet, Alex and her mom take well, well. Alex is wait, wait. So as I said, they just moved into town, and Monty and her mom are taken with them immediately. Marnie's mom is taken with Alex, and they end up um forging a little bond and giggling, and Marnie is taken with Cal. So she takes him in the tour of the house, and Marnie shows him her room, and And he says, "Do you have anything that's not ordinary? Because I struck a girl like you into not so much ordinary. I figured you would be in for some magic, some witch stuff." I am sighing because this is the part where, well, Marnie said that she is into witch stuff, but her mom likes to keep it ordinary. But they do have a room, her grandmother room, that is not ordinary. But the thing that he doesn't know is that 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 the grandmother's room is off limits because it is a magical portal, and they have spell a a spell book in the grandmother's room. And Marnie, I know you're young, but there are just certain places that you should never show a person in this house, especially if you're a witch. They're just so Marnie shows the grandmother room to Cal, and he starts bringing up warlocks, and that would be my first red flag. Like, if you're new in town, how do you know about witches and warlocks? I mean, of course you could do some reading. Well, I guess you could do some reading, so that will bring up the witches and warlocks thing, I guess. But Money tells him that this is the secret, that we came in here because no one is allowed in here. And then, right as he gets curious about the book of spells, mind you, do you know what happens next? Do you know what happens next? He says, "Okay, Money, let's go down for some ice cream." And Marnie leaves, but before he leaves, he casts a spell on the book to make it smaller, and then he steals it. So this is why you don't let warlocks or witches into your home that you don't know. But Marnie's just a teenager, so she gets one pass. One pass. Yeah, but you can't take him into certain places, Marnie. And you know better than that. So, after the party's over, Cal and Money start talking, and he he gives her a rose, and he plants a rose with his magic. Sound familiar? That is what Kalbar did to Agatha's daughter Grace, and Agatha is the grandmother. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys. Agatha was in her room earlier, all sad because her and her daughter always do not see eye to eye. So she was in her room telling her granddaughter Sophie about how much she misses Halloween Town, and she gets to see Gord and Astrid. Now, I'll come back to them later because there's something I want to say, but I'll say it at the very, very, very end. So, I'm sorry, you guys. I had to yawn. So, so, Marnie talks to her mom about her not getting away from her if she goes to Halloween Town for the summer or the weekend. And Mother said, if you go to Halloween Town now, you'll be completely different. So, with that in mind, let's get back to Halloween Town matters, shall we? So, the Halloween party is still continuing for the Hollow Elves when the grandmother notices when her grandmother notices that her magic bag that she's had all this time is empty, and it's never empty for Cromwell, 'cause Cromwell they're witches, and the bag is never empty 'cause the bag is magic. So with this in mind, she goes back to Halloween Town to check on her house, but when she gets there, everything is gray. Well, not everything, 'cause there's still some color, but everyone is a total opposite of them or her self. So she speaks to her best friend Astrid, who tells her that I am Astrid, and like you can see that all the color and all the joy has been sucked out of Halloween Town, and you will never guess who's behind it. It is Cal, and Cal stands for Kalbar. And now Calabar's son, is taking his revenge for what he did to his father. And you ask yourself, in the beginning of the movie, wasn't that Cal's dad? No, my friends, that was not Cal's dad. He was just a guy that the father put in charge of him so he could live in the mortal world, I guess. And Luke is back, but he's back to his old grumpy human self. But don't worry, things get better. So Marnie and him and Aggie go to her house, and we see my favorite character, Benny. He is human now. And do you know how Benny used to drive? If any of you guys seen the Halloween Town movies, you guys all know how Benny used to drive crazy. Well, he drives all slow now. And he takes paychecks and he writes receipts for taking his cab, and I just don't like this version of my Benny, because Benny was my favorite character in Halloween Town, and I just do not like what they did to my Benny, but it's okay. It is okay. It is okay, because it is okay because everyone's gonna fix this. So, and so, with that in mind, Aggie goes to check on her house to see what's wrong with the magic. But her house is is turned gray. But they are looking for the spell book. And let me just say this. Luke is very lazy. He is very lazy cause while Ronnie wait while Monty is looking for the spell book, he is just sitting there saying, I'm hungry. I'm like, dude, this could go so much faster if you would have helped, but they are sitting there looking for the spell book all on their own, and it's just not right. It's just not right. But luckily, they visit. But luckily, they visit. What was his name? Well, anyway, the guy that I mentioned before, um, Growth, Gruff, I think his name was Gruff. Yeah, Gruff, the mean, nasty guy. I mean, his house is like so junky. But ever since the spell, he's become very clean and gray. And he's been folding socks all day. And he had the stuff for all his books, and nothing is junky. So she asks Gruff if he can locate the spell book, but he doesn't have it because when Ronnie never mind, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, with this in mind and him folding socks, the spell gets worse and worse. And when the spell gets worse and worse, it's Aggie and Luke who disappear from Ronnie, and Cal showed up and says, You broke my spell with a word called Trappa. Well, he doesn't really say what the word called Trappa. I well, he said, You broke my spell. Well done, Ronnie. And Ronnie asks where her grandmother and Luke are. And Luke tells her they are somewhere safe. So, with that in mind, Marley ends up going back in time to before the spell took place, and there she found Luca again, and she broke the spell with the word called Trappa. And here's the thing. You remember when I told you that Gruff, the guy who lived next door, who had a junky house, had everything? Well, he had the spell book, but then because there's two copies of it. There is one there is one in the real world and then one in Halloween Town, but the one was stolen by Kalbar. So he stole them both. So since everything that was junk ended up there, it turns out that Gruff, the guy that I told you about, it turned out that he sold it to and it turned out that he sold it to Calabar's. So it turned out that he sold it to Kalbar, and the only reason he was interested in Marnie in the first place is so she would pretend that he felt something for her, even though it's not true. So I was like, dude, that's not cool, cause you ruined my poor innocent Marley's life because she really liked you. How could you be so unfair? But anyway, back to the matter at hand. And, 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 do you remember Alex? Um, and, 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 so do any of you guys remember when I said there was a guy named Alex that was playing Cal's dad? Well, it turned out he was a frog and he didn't tell the mother. And so the mother got mad for him lying to her. The mother got mad at him for lying to her, and then she turned him into a toad. And then my boy Dylan says, "Do anyone knows where we can find a pond?" That iconic line. And then it seems like how and then it's the big showdown. So Cal's got the spell book. He puts a spell on everyone, even Marley's mom, and he closes the portal to the mortal world. And you think it's all over, right? No, because Marnie and Dylan get on the phones and says, "We have to open the portal." But the only problem is, by midnight they can't open the portal. But Marley says, "I don't care. We're gonna do it together." So they all say the spell, and the portal opens, and Marnie defeats Dylan, and she gets the two spell books back. And Sophie and Marnie and Dylan go to Halloween Town and they break the spell and everything is back to the way it was, and Marnie starts telling her grandmother about the internet. And the mother agrees that she can spend the summer and the weekends at Halloween Town if the kids would like. And that is the end of the Halloween sequel to the movie Caliber's Revenge. That's what it's called, Caliber's Revenge. But here's one thing that I can't figure out. If it's called Caliber's Revenge, then why wasn't it Caliber in the movie? I guess it's a new thing where his son is going to take up for his dad, I guess. And the actor who plays Caliber, And and the actor who played Kalbar sure looked like Alex, the guy who played um Cal's dad. Just saying. And that is the end of this video. Halloween Town 2, Caliber's return. Bye. I will see you guys in my next video. Later.